Alright, doing another project here on the 150. I'm going to make a heart tray with an engraving in the middle. But first, before I do that, I don't have a jointer that I can set up to plane this so that it is flat. So what I did was I glued it down to my spoil board. I shimmed the corner that was offset a little bit, and I'm going to run a quick surfacing pass over the material, and then I'll flip it over, do the surfacing pass again, and that'll give me two parallel sides so that when I do carve the heart tray, it'll carve correctly and be smooth. So first things first, going to do this surfacing pass. I'm going to set my X, Y, and Z, and then I'll run you through this real quick. A lot of it. Also, as you can see, I still don't have my touch probe, so I'm doing the manual setting of the X, Y, and Z. So I found the front left corner right there. I started that first, and now I went to, roughly the middle of the material so that I can set my Z. I'm just going to use the paper trick, bring the bit down slightly until it doesn't move. Right there it stops, so I'm going to call that my good Z. So I'll set my Z 0, and then I will go ahead and bring this back up so that I can put on my dust boot and shroud, and then we'll go ahead and run this and see how we do. It's always the scary part, hoping that I get it set up correctly and do everything right. Never really know, but there we go. Set that there. We'll get my dust collection up and running before we press go. But Z's all set. This should be a quick 10-minute, not even, just a back and forth carve. I think I got everything good to go. So the heart inside the tray, it'll be good to go. Alright, now that we've got this board surfaced into the thickness I want, we're going to go ahead and load up the next job, which is going to be, I'm going to break it up into 3 different carves because I've got 3 bit changes. I'm going to do the pocket first, which is going to be the inside of the heart tray. Then I'm going to do, then I have to do a bit change because I'm going to use a fine tipped V-bit bullnose V-bit. It's really, I don't know what the name of it is. But I'm going to use that to carve the letters on the inside. And then finally, I'm going to do the outsides of the tray. So that way I have as much holding capacity as I can throughout the whole time of the carve on the board. I'm not changing the location of the tape or anything, so that I don't have to worry about it slipping or sliding or moving around. So I'll load up the first file so you can see what I'm going to do, which is going to be the inside heart ball nose. Load it up. And here you can see it's going to carve out one whole heart, and then it'll do the second one up top. There we go. So I'll have 2 heart trays within this board carved out. I hope you can see that right there. I know it's a little dusty. Sorry, I don't have a rag to wipe it down, wipe the screen down. Let me go ahead. But that is going to be the first carve, and we'll see how long this one's going to take. I honestly didn't look, so I don't know. But I've got my bit in there. I'm going to set my X, Y, and Z for start, and once I set X and Y, I will not change it, because everything is going to be based off the same board. So I'll set my X and Y. Z, I will re-Z when I do my text letter, because it'll now be below the surface. I did set my safe Z at 3 inches, so it should come well up to the top and should not affect the rest of the board. But here we go. Let's go ahead and set X, Y, and Z for this set of jobs. I do have quite a bit of extra material inside and out, so I'm not going to be too picky when it comes to setting my X and Y. As long as I'm pretty close to this front corner, I'm perfectly fine with that. But my Z, I will do exactly as paper method. There we go. Now I'll set my Z. Z is set. So I'll bring this back up, and we'll get my dust boot back on. Set the shroud down just a little bit so that it's back in, connected to the surface. Material. Get my dust collection running. And let's go ahead and keep this. Alright, so I don't want to bore you. I didn't show you the entire carve of this heart because I did not look at the feeds and speeds or set them correctly. This carve for the pocket of the two hearts took forever. Don't get me wrong, I am completely satisfied with the quality that came out in the end, but as you can see, between my step over and my plunge rate, I have them set so low that I got a near perfect finished base. I had to do almost no sanding, which is a benefit. However, it was the cost of time of running the machine. So when I set this up, with it being, a little over 3/4 of an inch thick, I ended up designing my pocket to be 0.6 inches deep. And then when I told the CNC how to cut it, I did a 0.01 step over, which is very small, like a little 1/2 millimeter. Don't quote me on that because I didn't do the math. That's my head math. And then I know my step down was only 0.1. So if I set the depth to 0.6 and my step down was a 0.1, that means I did 6 hearts per pocket. It only went down 0.1 of an inch every time it cut out this heart shape. With the very small step over means that it went around each heart way too many times. Plus my feed rate was only set at 100 inches per minute, which I think I could have gone up a little bit, maybe gone a little bit faster, but I didn't want to tear out the board or the material or anything, so that's what took so long. But as you can see here, this is, I believe, the last pass and the last maybe total 1/8 of an inch of the heart, and it's taken at least 5 minutes just to do that little tiny bit, and then it's moving on to the next one. So you can see the finished product looks absolutely amazing, perfectly smooth. Like I said, I had to do almost no sanding whatsoever, but that was at the cost of time. So it took the machine just over 3 hours, so an hour and a half to carve out each heart, which I probably could have sped up if I'd have done a little bit higher plunge rate at, say, an 1/8 of an inch, 0.125, or even gone up to like a 0.2, so that it only carved stepped down 3 times in the whole cut instead of 6. It would have saved quite a bit of time. But overall, I'm pleased with the way it came out, and let me show you the rest of it.
Alright, as this finishes up the text in the last heart, I'm going to do the final bit change, which is going to be to cut out the profile around the heart, which is just going to be a real simple 1/4 inch end mill. That's going to allow me to cut out the outside of the entire tray, and then once that's done, this carve will be finished. Total time took about, between the design, the carve, and cutting this out, took me probably about 5 hours. Again, um, still learning the machine, but that's about the time that it took. So 5 hours, and you'll see the end product here in just a minute.
Give that dust collection a little break. Let's go ahead and pop this up and off. My little screwdriver. All right. Here we are. 2 trays, little custom engraving. I am going to have to take this over to my bandsaw. I did not quite go through enough. You could just see barely. Maybe I can, I don't know. Let's try something. I could bandsaw it for sure. So close though. Almost through. Just barely not. Wonder if I can get it out with a utility knife. Someone in the comments probably gonna say that's not gonna work. And they'd be right, because the blade's not long enough. Well, if I do it from that side, seems to work pretty good. There we go. Look at that. Popped right out of there. Let's do the back one.
Alright, after I got these all carved out, I decided to come on over to the router table. I put a little 3/16 round over on the top and bottom just to smooth off the edges. I couldn't do it in the inside because I didn't make it deep enough and my bearing would have marred the inside tray. But after doing the round over on the edges and just lightly hand sanding, these things came out pretty awesome. I did end up using the random orbital for the flat back because it still had them surfacing marks on it. But After that, total sand time, maybe 15 minutes. I decided that was good enough, and I liked the way that they came out. So I moved right on to my finish, which was just some tongue oil, and you'll see that right here.
Of course, I've already done it. I've already put the finish on. I just did a quite quick light coating with some tongue oil. I'm gonna let it soak in, and then I'm just gonna wipe it clean with a lint-free towel. I like to keep the wood looking natural and not really do any sort of staining or, you know, altering of the actual color and grain. I just sanded it to the 220 and then put tongue oil, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's soaked in a little bit. All right. All right, they've been soaking for a while. I don't quite know how long, but long enough. Time to wipe them out, get the excess out, and show you what they look like. This will probably be just a short video, maybe a couple minutes. For you anyways. Took me all day. But I think these look good. Cool little catch tray. Nice and finished. Go up and give them to my wife, see what she thinks. Alright. Quick, I guess, one-day project. Nice little catch tray. This one I put a little too much tongue oil on. It's okay though. Alright, well, there it is. If you like it, push the button. I thought I made them the same size. I suppose I didn't even realize I made them two different sizes. Did not even... Heh.
Hey, if you like what you're seeing and what I'm putting out, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out the free giveaway for my CNC setup and or any of the other videos I've posted. Anyways, cheers. Thanks.